I organize professional development activities at Reedley College, and occasionally I give a workshop. So Amanda Tainter usually does our AI workshops, but she is out of town, lucky gal. So I am stepping in. And today I'm going to talk about AI wordsmithing, polishing your emails, syllabi, and more. And I find that in my everyday use, I like to use AI to refine emails. I use it for my syllabus, for assignments to help me with them, and I'll show you. You can use it with campus communications. I do admit I've written an email and then have stuck it into AI and said, can you organize this better for me? Or, what should I add? What's not clear? So I'll talk about all of that. And for us instructors, well, even counselors, I think it's good to understand AI so we understand how our students might be using it. As more and more students are using it, I just feel like we need to understand it more. We had a workshop, Lou, God, I'm blanking out on his name, but he gave a workshop on AI for us, I think our last or two flex schedules ago, and he talked about being on AI for like 10 hours so that you understand it better. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm trying to make this so I can see everyone on here. Let me know. Okay, so I am curious. I would love to know if there's anything specifically you want to learn today and what challenges are you facing? Just anything you want to tell me. You can unmute yourself. You can stick it in the chat, but I would love to know a little bit about kind of your goals and what you'd like to learn. And if you have any challenges with AI that I could help you with here.
So Lori, I'll jump in. So this is my first time teaching the Counseling 53 online, 100% online. So I wanted to find a way to help make the class more interesting, since we don't have that face-to-face interaction. So I've been using AI to just kind of spice things up and, give me some new ideas on layouts and wording and that kind of stuff. So it's new to me. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to just picking up some gems from you.
Okay. Okay. Well, I hope I can give you some gems, but I love using it to help me sort of freshen things up, make things more student friendly, maybe a little bit more creative. And Robert, you said creative writing and contextual learning. What do you mean like by that? Do you want to let me know? Using stories to teach content. Oh, that's a great idea. So kind of using AI to help you make the story. That is something I had not thought of and probably something you can do. So maybe we can play with that and sort of see what that would look like. What do you teach, Robert? And while he's typing, anyone else have something if you want to mute yourself? Okay, well, hopefully you'll tell us in a second what he teaches. So let's move on and I'll keep the chat open if there are any other questions. So today we're going to look at AI chemistry. Okay, AI as a writing partner to enhance your communication and also try and keep your voice, write better emails, maybe make them more concise and more professional, polish course material, so making it student friendly, and maybe more creative, more interesting, something to grab their attention. And we're also going to look at some examples that I'll plug into ChatGPT just to play with it. And maybe we'll try something with the chemistry. So let's think about that. I do not teach chemistry. I know nothing about chemistry, and I did horrible when I took chemistry in high school. So why use AI for writing assistant? I mean, first of all, it is here and everyone is using it, which maybe isn't exactly the reason to use it, but it is here 24/7. So we can look at it at 3 o'clock in the morning. It can help refine our tone, which is a really important thing to do. It can clarify ideas and you can polish communication. And this is good for faculty and staff. It can help you. There are some things that I do, which I really like to do when I'm teaching, but sometimes it actually takes a little bit more time. And if anyone was on Amanda's last workshop that she gave with AI and using AI to help format Canvas pages, you can go down a rabbit hole of AI. Is SECCD or CCCCO, exploring ChatGPT education for staff, faculty, and students like the CSU. I'm not sure about that. Let's come back to that at the very end and we can talk more about that. So there is kind of a magic formula. I don't always use this. And one thing is that AI kind of gets to know you. So I do a lot of put on workshops. So I'm always putting in information like what's a good workshop title? Can you put all of this into like I might have an Excel sheet with the workshops in it and I want it more in Word format, an easier format. So I'm putting all of this stuff in. So it's starting to get to know me. So if I'm talking about RAPS, which is a part-time conference that we put on in the spring, and if I just put in RAPS, it kind of knows what I'm talking about. So it does learn a little bit more about you, which is kind of scary on one hand, but kind of neat on another hand. So you also want to look at like the task and the style. What is your style? Do you want something direct? Do you want it friendly? There are a lot of times, when we get to the emails, I'll talk about this. So email challenges and AI solutions. So sometimes we're too wordy or unclear. So we might say something like, make this email more concise while keeping all essential information, use shorter sentences and clearer language. So I'm a very wordy person. And so sometimes I'll say, can you make this less wordy? Sounds too harsh. Soften the tone of this email while maintaining professionalism. So I don't know, how many of you write emails to students? So as a writing teacher, sometimes I'm frustrated with my students, their lack of not doing something, not following instructions. So there are times when I will write that email that I really want to write them, but is completely not appropriate as a teacher. But I get it out and then I stick it in AI and I say, can you make this email nicer? And then it'll splurt it out. And then I go through and I do make some changes, because we do want it to be our writing. But I find that it's really helpful for that because we don't, we want to be nice and friendly to our students, or sometimes we want to be direct, but we still want to be friendly. And AI can help with that. If you're lacking sympathy, that's a good way. Like you can say, can you add some sympathy? I mean, I've asked AI and I never use it because I always feel like it sounds horrible. But if I have to write a sympathy card or something, and I have a hard time with words when it comes to things like that, but typically I don't like what AI says anyway. And then you can say like reorganize this email to clearly highlight what the recipients need to do next. So make the action items obvious. So that is something that AI can do for you and pretty fast and easily. So practice time. So on the next slide, and let me see if I can grab it. I have this email that I just like at Reedley College. I know you're not all at Reedley. We're doing the STEP challenge. So I wrote this sort of long and convoluted email to the deans because I want them to do the STEP challenge. So I could actually, I think I can stick this in the chat if you wanted to play with this, or if you wanted to grab an email that maybe you wrote on your own. Oh, it doesn't like all the words. I'll do it as two different parts of it, and then I'll show you. Oops. So here's the first part of it, and then here is the second part of it. I just threw it in the chat for you. So you guys can play around with that if you want to, but I'll show you what I do. So I'm going to go to chat. Can you see ChatGPT? I'm not sure. Let me see what it's sharing now. Yeah. Okay. So I have the paid version of ChatGPT. The college does not pay for this. It's $20 a month. But I use it a lot. And so I just went ahead and splurge. So I'm going to put it in here, but I'm going to give it some instructions. So I'm going to start with, whoops. I am writing this email to our deans at our community college, but it's too long. Can you make it more or shorter and friendly So they will join the challenge. And then I put it in there. So I didn't quite do everything it said, but here's a shorter, friendlier version. So if you look at the beginning one, this is a lot of words. And then here it is. We'd love you to join our Ridley College Step Challenge, part of our wellness initiative. It's a fun way to boost movement, connect with colleagues, and support a campus-wide culture of wellness. The challenge is open to everyone, faculty, staff, and administrators. You can participate individually, etc. Now, I like this, so I might use it, but let's say I want to do something else with it. Like maybe I want to say, can you add bullet points as to why this challenge can help you, I don't know, physically or help your health? So there it goes. So now it's added some information, some more information. So that's one reason. Now, if I wanted to change this, I'm trying to think. There are other ways that I can change it. So I do like, if I'm writing an email sometimes to, I don't know, to the deans or something, and it's an important email, and what I've written is really long, like the first one, then I will ask chat to help me kind of revise it. But with those types of things, I pretty much always do the writing myself, and then I'm just asking for some reflection. So I might also ask, what else should I add to help convince them to join? And then it'll give me some ideas. So it'll add this type of stuff. So then I might go in here and say, oh yeah, add in ease of participation or something like that. So you can kind of work with it as much or as little as you want. But I like asking questions with things too. So I might say, what is confusing, or so forth. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay. So also for me as a teacher, and again, if you're not teaching, you can take this and you can still apply it to whatever you're doing. You know, I'm just taking the context for me. So I might take this, and for syllabus language, you know, I realize that sometimes my language and my syllabus is just like, I'm a very direct, blunt person. So my language is sometimes very direct and blunt. And that's an issue that I have. And that's why I like ChatGPT, because I feel like it can make it like a little more friendly. So I might put in parts of my syllabus to soften up my tone, to make it more student friendly, to look at language that maybe they're not going to understand and put it in language that they do understand. So that's something like maybe it can help me clarify. And I like that balance of professionalism with warmth. You know, I know what kind of personality that I have, so I want to make sure that the students will respond to me in a positive way. So I just took this part of my syllabus about attendance. I mean, it's not really bad or anything. Be smart about your attendance. Do not skip class because you don't feel like going, have a little cold, a slight headache, or attempted to take a trip somewhere. If you run into me on campus, then you better be in class that day. I mean, that might be a little threatening to students. I don't know. If you really do have to miss class, be smart about it. Contact me, ask for the assignments, etc. So a student could read this and they could be intimidated. I don't know. Again, I just grabbed something. So I'm going to go back to chat. Let's make sure you guys are seeing me go back and forth. And I might say, can you make this part of my syllabus more student friendly? And then I just put it in there. And again, I'm not giving it tons of directions, but a little bit. So let's see. Coming to class regularly is one of the best ways to succeed. So already that's more student friendly, right? It's focusing on the positive instead of the negative. Try not to miss class unless it's truly necessary. Things like not feeling motivated, a small headache, or wanting a day off aren't good reasons to skip. if you do miss class, and then it gives things to do, and then remember showing up and staying connected makes a big difference in your learning and success. I'm having trouble copying and pasting from the chat. Ooh, I'm sorry. I think if you right click on it, you should be able to get copy and then see if that works. Okay. I have my settings fairly open, so you should be able to, but I know that's a problem. So I like doing things like this with my syllabus. If I'm working on a syllabus or a longer document, then I might put it in section, like one section at a time. I'm sorry that you guys are having a hard time copying it. I'm not sure if there's another way that I can do this. I would give you a copy of the, at the end, I'll put a copy. Right click is not working. What if you hover over it and there are 3 little dots? Do you guys see that? No, let me see if I can do this. I will at the end give you a copy. I'll when I get out of here. Oh, maybe I can share it actually. Oh no, I don't want to do that. That's chat. When I get out of here, I'll be able to get out, but I was having some technical issues. So yeah, when I get out of here, I'll be able to give you a copy of this. So I'm sorry. Anyway, if you're working on a longer document, you want to put it in sections. You don't want to do the whole document at a time. And that is one reason why sometimes it takes a long time. So when I taught last semester, I wanted to do this. So I was literally taking one section at a time. And then I would take the whole, like at the end, I think I took the whole syllabus and I asked it like, what am I missing? What could I add? And so forth. Sometimes if you put in too long of a document, it'll skip over parts of it. So you could use some of this like in program review if you're having to write some big report or something, like, you're going to work on it and get the information there, but then you might put it into chat just to kind of smooth it out a little bit. Any questions besides you're not being able to copy it? I'm so sorry about that. Or comments. So AI can also be your assignment design partner. So AI can refine assignment language to be more student friendly. It can identify potential gaps or missing instructions. It can help you highlight sections that students might find confusing, or it can suggest formatting improvements. So I think I grabbed another part of yes. So this is an assignment. I just grabbed this from one of I teach Canvas classes mostly, or online classes, or last semester I was. So this is a sample assignment. And again, it's just reading a short article, summarizing the article, turn in your summary. I want some sentence starters. These are the 2 articles. If you copy something like this, you'll have to go back and make the links in. And then let me make sure I'm on the right screen. Okay. And then we're going to go into chat. And I can do it in here, but I can also start a new one. Sometimes chat gets confused. Sometimes you have to start over. So I might say, here is an assignment for my online students. This is in my Canvas course. I want to make it more student friendly. I like using the tilt model. Can you modify this for me? Please keep it concise and keep in the what was it, the sentence? I forgot what those are called now. Oops. The sentence starters. Then I copy and paste it in there, and then I hit and see what happens. So the tilt method gives like the purpose and the task, and then it gives you like success criteria. So you can put in things like that. But when I use this, I make sure it's not too long and convoluted. Last semesters, I had some students say that some of the assignment directions were too long. So you have to be careful with that. So this gives the purpose. And even though I did kind of have the purpose up here, I didn't really, I just kind of gave them the assignment. So here it gives the purpose. Can you guys see this okay? Get a little bit bigger. This assignment helps you practice summarizing, connecting ideas, and correctly introducing sources. These skills are important for clear professional writing, so they understand why they're doing it. They get the task, which I really like giving them, like, this is the task. And then I'm consistent on every assignment. And then it kept in the sentence starters because I told it to. And then it gave me the success criteria. Now I might change this a little bit. And depending on how long the assignment is, I might have to do like parts of it at a time, but I like this better. And I started using this last semester, and then my assignments were more unified. Usually I will copy and paste it. I don't usually do this because sometimes when you go to the little copy button at the bottom, it formats it funny. But you can also say, I'm going to put this in a Canvas course page. Can you do the headings correctly in HTML code? So I can also do that, and let's see what happens. And I sometimes get annoyed that it takes a long time. So right now I'm going to just click on the skip part. And then it gives me the code. And I don't have a Canvas page open, but if I put this, I can sort of see like it's giving me the H2 header, the H3 header, so I know a little bit of code. So if I copied and paste this into Canvas in the HTML part, then it will already have the headers in there. Does that make sense? Does anyone want me to show how to do this in a Canvas page? Yes, okay. Give me a second. So I'm teaching. So I'm just going to go into this course, and I'm just going to do a page. Oops. So I'm going to do a page. Whoops. Everything's taking a lot of time today. Page, create page, and then I'm just going to put test. So I know to go and delete it. And if Amanda gets on here and sees it, she's not going to think, what did you do? So when you go into a page and you edit it, here, these little carets, the little greater sign, or lesser sign, greater, lesser, greater sign, you click on that and that gives you the HTML, and then you paste it. Oh, whoops. Let me go back here. Let me copy it. And then here, can you guys see the Canvas page? Okay, then I'm going to paste it in, and then I'm going to go back to the little caret things. And so it formatted the headers correctly. The headers are important if you have a student who's using a screen reader because it reads through the headers. So it does that work for you. And Amanda touched on this in the very last workshop that she gave. So that if you're at Reedley College, it's on our intranet. It will go up on our RC YouTube page, and then Susie is going to put it up on the Fresno City College YouTube page, and she can put her little link in the chat. Meg, did you have a question?
I think I missed the first part of when you were copying from the other page. Could you show me that one more time? I looked down for a second to write it down and then I missed that.
That's okay, from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I literally just go in. There's this little button at the bottom that you can copy, but I find sometimes it doesn't work. So literally I just highlight the whole thing and just copy it. Command C.
Oh, okay.
Control C on a, right click. Oh yeah, Susie put up where you'll find these workshops at the Fresno City College. So yeah, so this is really good. I mean, you can say make the headers, I'm not sure, headers, or add I don't know, add a background, an orange background to the headers. Let's see if that works. Yeah, and I can see it's doing that. So again, if I copy this, so this is again getting into the last workshop, but we have a little bit of time, so it's fine. And again, you can hit the little copy thing. So if I go there and I'm gonna just, well, I can just go Control All. I'm gonna go back to the little lesser or greater sign and copy it. And then it added the little header thing. And this is what Amanda was talking about in the last workshop. So that's pretty cool that it's giving each header its own, you know, color. So if you're interested more in this, I just sent Susie the video on Friday, so hopefully she'll get it up, or hopefully George will get it up on our campus YouTube, Ridley College YouTube page. Okay. Any more questions about this? So this is the hole where AI can take you. Like this is the rabbit hole. So you can kind of see that. And then
Sorry, I have a question before
yeah,
you
go ahead,
move
Angie.
further. So when you gave a command to ChatGPT to create a HTML code, where did you put that command?
I just stuck it in here. So when I went here, I said, I'm going to put this in a Canvas course page. Can you do the headings correctly in HTML code?
Oh, under the assignment. You were working on the assignment, so that assignment now has this
Yeah,
HTML.
it gave me the assignment how I liked it, but because I'm working in Canvas and I took Amanda's accessibility course and I'm trying to be better, I said, you know, take this and put it in HTML code.
Okay.
And then
Okay,
it gave me the code, and then I wanted to modify the code, add an orange background and a total bad grammar, right? Orange background to the headers, and it knew what I meant.
Perfect. Thank you.
So yeah, so when you start working with it more, like it's smarter now than it used to be, and it's learning all the time. So it knows more what you want. So I don't know if we have any, well, classified or any other people, but again, this can be used across campus. You know, staff, admin can use it. It can be used to polish updates, policy announcement, meeting notices, make some complex information more digestible for faculty and students. It can help you again writing student support messages. You might be writing the same message but wanting to change a few things here and there for different groups of students, so it can help you with that. It could help you with interdepartmental coordination, so improve emails between departments, clarify procedures, and ensure consistent messaging across campus communications. So everyone can use this. I might be talking about my syllabus, but you can figure out ways to apply it to whatever you're doing on campus. So I'd love to hear more, and we have a few more slides to go through, like how you guys have integrated AI into your daily work routines, or what aspects are you curious about? I know that one person talked about using it to teach content by using stories in chemistry. We could play with that for a few minutes. Any insights that you're gaining from this? Any ideas of maybe how you could use it a little bit differently? And again, you can unmute yourself. I'm putting together the call proposal for Spring Flex. I've been using ChatGPT all morning, asking it for help crafting the message I'm sending out to the campus. Yes. So in the role that I have, and I've started to think about that now, I have to think about Spring Flex because that's part of my job. That would be the perfect place to use ChatGPT to help you compose a good email. You can use ChatGPT for, I was just going to say something, to help you with a theme for your Flex Day. Robert gave me something in Claude.
Yeah, so this is my assignment that I created using AI. I used Claude.
Okay.
It created all of this. And if you scroll down, this is their chemistry tasks that they have to solve this mystery that I helped Claude write out this entire mystery for the course.
Okay,
So this is,
Go ahead, I'm
This
sorry.
is all AI generated. I did nothing here except make sure there's nothing entirely wrong with it.
Right, that's a good thing. You definitely have to check AI because it makes mistakes and it leaves things out, although it's much better. I stopped using Claude as much because I was paying for ChatGPT, but do you find like you can get the HTML code and stick it in a Canvas page, or how do you deal with that?
This is an artifact that I just publish. So
Okay.
anybody who clicks on the link will get sent to it. I do have it use HTML code. I do have it post into Canvas. I use it in just about every possible way.
Okay.
But this is the idea of the contextual learning where I've created a game to have the students utilize that chemistry knowledge and solve a mystery.
I love that. I know there are some people who do like those escape room type things and have ChatGPT or Claude build it or some other AI build it. So this is kind of a similar idea. This is great. I just can't figure out how to get the code correct in Claude because when I was copying and pasting it, it wasn't looking how it looks here. So is it working better now with Claude?
Claude is getting really, really good.
Okay.
And I go back and forth between multiple AIs because, like you said, they have strengths and weaknesses. But Claude has a build with Claude option, which also gives me fantastic code. I think Claude has the best code of all the AIs. So
When you say code, you mean HTML code or?
any kind. I
Okay.
use LaTeX and HTML mostly.
So I haven't used it in a while and I was paying for it, but it just felt like it was a little bit of a I wasn't using it, so I stopped. Cloud never loses. Okay, I'm just gonna go here. So yeah, so I would play with this. You can see I think that's my stuff. I would play with it and I might even put the other prompt and see which one I like better. I was liking ChatGPT better when I was putting in stuff for assignments. I felt that Claude was more verbose and not as simple. So I stopped using it, but I would play around with this. I haven't used Gemini at all, but I would definitely play around with that one too. But this is a great idea.
The value of Claude is in telling it to create you an artifact.
Okay.
So you can just tell it to create you an artifact of HTML that does this thing. I'll share another artifact. They'll actually make interactive web pages. A web page my students can type numbers in and it'll type out answers for them. It's really, really incredible.
So when you're saying artifact, what do you mean by that?
That's Claude's term, is they create an HTML page, they host it on their servers, and then anybody could go to that page. So the link you clicked is hosted in Claude as an artifact. You were able to look at it because I shared it with you.
Oh, okay. So this is something that I am going to go and play with and see what happens. So that's great. Anyone else want to add anything, your own expertise? This is fabulous. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. Thank you so much for sharing, Robert. So common pitfalls like over-reliance. I have to admit, I feel like I'm starting to get a little over-reliant on ChatGPT, maybe losing your own voice. I was writing a letter recommendation and I actually typed in a whole bunch of stuff. First, I spoke in a whole bunch of stuff because now with ChatGPT, you can actually talk to it. It will talk back to you. But if you have to write an email and you're feeling very jumbled, you can just start putting stuff in voice, saying it. And then it will transcribe it for you. So I did that with a letter recommendation and then I had it work on it. But one thing that ChatGPT does that I don't like is it writes in a series. So we'll do the beautiful, wonderful, clever person. And I don't like that. So I'll go in and maybe just say the clever student or something like that. So I definitely make sure I go through and I revise it and maybe throw in my own language. Again, you do have to fact check it. Like what Robert said, if you put up a whole thing like that, you probably need to go through and make sure it's correct because we are the experts and it is not really the expert yet. And then missing nuance. So AI struggles with context, emotions, human judgment is key for sensitive topics. So again, we have to think about these things. And I'm sure these are things you've heard about. And then ethics and transparency, when to disclose AI use. So, and I'm kind of curious what you all have to say about this. So for instance, I used gamma.app to create this whole PowerPoint. I knew I could go through and I could create it, but you can go into Gamma and you can say, I'm doing a workshop on X, Y, and Z. I want to include these points. I want it to be minimalistic, not too wordy, and it will create a whole PowerPoint for you. So that is me being transparent. There are times though when I write emails and I use AI and I don't say this was written by ChatGPT. Like I don't feel like I necessarily need to do that. Now I haven't, like now that I'm using it more in my classes, I might tell them that I always write your assignments, but I have put some of them through ChatGPT just to help me organize it. So there is some, a lot of people say you should always tell your students when you're using it. And that's probably the more ethical thing. But before ChatGPT, and I was going through like Google and saying, I need a writing assignment on this topic, or I need, whatever. I didn't necessarily tell my students I did that either. So what do you guys think about this idea of ethics? And when to disclose using AI usage and when you don't? I mean, obviously, Robert, your students are seeing it, right? So they're going to know. But do any of you have any thoughts on this? And that's okay if you don't.
I'm very upfront with my students.
Yeah.
I tell them constantly, and I tell them that they should also learn how to use it ethically.
Yeah, and so do you go through and talk to them about using it ethically?
I give them tools. So I have a notebook with Notebook LM that is part of my Canvas course. They can access it, have information, use the AI. I show them how to do it. I show them the best way to get the most out of it. And I tell them, and all of their homework's handwritten notes as their evidence of learning. And I tell them, you need to still prove that you've learned the material. This is a great tool to help you there.
Okay.
That's the angle that I take.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like if we give them the opportunity to use AI in a specific way, then they're less likely going to cheat with it. Or if they use it in another way, they're more likely to tell you that they've used it in another way. So I started doing that too. Like I started for writing, I would have them do research using Google because they used to and they still do. I would have them use the library databases because I think that's important. And then I would have them use Perplexity and I would have them write a paper comparing it, how which one was best, what you did to help you and so forth. And I felt like giving them the opportunity to use it would help them. So Meg, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, I haven't started teaching yet. I'm new adjunct. So, but I think I would kind of go along with what Robert was saying about being open and transparent about it and framing it like it's a tool. And I like what you said about giving them different ways that they can use it. So they're less likely to feel like they're cheating or to look for sneaky ways.
Yeah. So, what are you teaching, Meg?
It'll be ECE.
Oh, okay. Early childhood. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, and and it's like, well, if I'm using it to help me with formatting, then maybe they should be able to use it to help them with formatting. So these are the questions that I ask myself. And it's important. And I do believe that it's important to set them up for success and give them ways to use it and to help them be honest about how they're using it. And maybe they found a way to use it that's totally ethical and helpful. And then I can teach other students too. So we're almost done. So just again, using clear, concise AI prompts. On some things, I just throw it in there. On other things, I write more of a prompt. Tackling complex documents one at a time. And sometimes it is more time consuming, but like we saw with Robert, he came out with this really cool, teaching a concept in context, which I certainly as a student would have loved, because I could not get through chemistry at all. So it's like horrible. Always refine AI output. You really want to make sure that you're reading it. Sometimes we see those little things at the bottom and it will say, is there anything else you want me to do? And people copy and paste that into their assignment, their emails or whatever. And it's like, caught you. And that makes people angry. And then practice improves results. So playing with it. I like to play with things. And then just a few other things, like this is great for subject lines. If you want a subject line to boost open rates of an email, I haven't done that, but I would try it to adjust your tone, summarize. It can help you proofread, and it can help you expand your notes. You can transform brief ideas into well-developed paragraphs. I had a friend who had to write a very difficult email, and she basically spoke the whole email into ChatGPT and then have it refine it for her because she needed that help. It was a very long, like 3-page email. So it can be useful. And then here is really cool. I did not know this, but AI can read your handwriting. So I do a lot of notes when I'm in meetings on paper. You can take a picture of it, put it into ChatGPT. I don't know if Claude does this, and it will put it into a document form. So it will transcribe it. So you don't have to go through and type up all of your notes. So this might be good if you're, so you take clear notes or whatever, but it can be very, very helpful. And I love that. I mean, you can even, if you're in class and the students do a bunch of work on the board, whoops, sorry, I closed that. You could take a picture of the board and then have ChatGPT look at it, put it in a document, and then you can give that to your students or put it to Canvas. So this technology can be used many ways in the class, out of the class, and so forth. And Robert gave us to Notebook LM, which I do want to do a workshop on at some point. Maybe you could lead that workshop, Robert. I have no shame in asking people to give workshops because that is that is my job. So I might be in contact with you, Robert.
I'm down. Yeah, let me
Okay,
know.
cool. I love LM, and then the Claude doing an artifact. I think that'd be awesome to learn more about. So I'll contact you. Anyway, I think that's it. I just really wanted to show. Has anyone tried this feature? I think it's awesome. Yeah, and then just, a little bit of time for reflection, again, and I kind of already been asking you throughout this, what concerns do you have? And again, what else do you want to learn? Are there other AI or other topics you'd like to learn about? I'm going to write down Robert's name. Any last comments, any thoughts, concerns?
Yeah, I have one last comment, and I don't know if anybody's been doing this. I've been doing this with all of my lectures. As I run through my lecture content, my textbook, I plug it all into AI with the COR. And then I ask for a complete analysis of the content that I'm doing, the stuff I'm testing on, and how much of it fits the COR. If there's anything missing, and then I get recommendations on what can be changed or what am I doing extra, stuff like that. And I've been able to fine tune my lectures, that with some student feedback, to within a very short amount of time, a really, really incredible workflow that my students are really happy with. That covers everything perfectly. Really impressive stuff.
Yeah, that's great. So I think that's a really smart way of making sure we're teaching our CORs. I think you can also maybe do some backwards design, like have it do the backwards design for you and even put in some of your assignments already. So there are so many things ways to leverage AI to really make sure that you are teaching the content that you need to be teaching, and also to make sure that there aren't areas where students might have questions or things that maybe we've forgotten about. But I think the next time I teach, I want to put in a bunch of stuff and then have it do that backwards design to make sure I'm hitting everything I'm supposed to be hitting. Yeah, great. Anyone else? Well, I hope you learned something that can help you. And I would try it. I would play with it. have fun with it. Think about the different ways you've learned to use it, what other ways you can leverage it. Try ChatGPT, try Claude, Notebook LM. I haven't been on it for quite a while, so I'm curious to see how that's gotten better. And I'll probably try some of the new stuff in Claude. And if there are any workshops that you want, even if you're at Fresno City, I know I'm at Reedley College, but let me know. And I will try to coordinate something because I share all my workshops with the whole district. So, and also if you ever have a friend at another college and you're like, hey, they're having an AI workshop or something like at COS, send them the link. I totally cool with people from other colleges getting on and learning with us. So, yeah. Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate it.
yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Lori. That was really helpful.